In this video, what I want to do is do two major tasks. That is change engine oil, or rather do the engine oil, and then also deal with the tires, because the tires, I need to look at the brakes, I need to do tire rotation, and probably after that I can check on the fluid. So I am looking forward to going through this video as I go through that process, and so you can join me on that. If you're new here, I'm Pastor Cliff. If you've been with me, you don't need any introduction from me, but basically what I do is share biblical principles from the Bible, and I also share do-it-yourself principles as I live a biblical life. So in this video, I'm going to be joined by my son, who assists me in shooting the videos, and we're going to be going through the process pole pole. So we're going to start with the engine oil change, and then we're going to move to the tires. And this is a two-wheel drive, front wheel drive, automatic transmission, so it's gonna be easy, and you can take any approach. The bottom line is there are basic things that you have to do. For draining the oil, you will have to unscrew the oil drain plug. You also have to unscrew the filter, and then you put those back in. So the other things we'll be talking about as we go. And then for tires, I'm gonna be doing the tire rotation, and then finally also check on the rear brakes, and also see if I can check on the front brakes, and that should be it. Then if time allows, we're going to be also checking on the fluids. So with that, let's begin. The first thing you do is you can warm the engine, because what I have done is warmed the engine a bit. So you can warm the engine. Warm oil or hot oil flows out faster, though you can still do it when it's cool. Now, the interesting thing is, of course, you have to pop up the hood. The interesting thing is, it depends on who you are learning from or who you are following. You can either start with the oil drain plug, which is under the engine, or you can start with the oil filter. Again, when it comes to the oil fill cap on top of the engine, that also depends, because there are those who remove it and then they go to the drain plug and then they go to the oil filter. There are those who don't remove it and then they can go to either. So it just depends. So let's just take it the way we'll be able to take it. So the first thing I'm going to do is pop up the hood, and then I have my tools with me. Oil filter wrench. I also have sockets, 14 millimeter, I believe. That's what is gonna be able to remove the oil drain plug. I have got new oil filter, Denso. I've also got Benzol, synthetic, fully synthetic. So the vehicle has done 10k. I'm gonna show you that, and then we're gonna proceed. So as you can see, the vehicle is already way beyond 10,000, and so it's a perfect time to do the service. Yeah, so I've popped the hood, and then let's see how 10k kilometer oil looks like. It's not that bad. It isn't black. It still has some good qualities in it. So I think we're gonna proceed on to, yeah. So sometimes this step, you can have the oil indicated there. My goodness. Okay. Sometimes they can indicate the oil there. There's a gasket here. Yeah. So it depends. I told you that you can have a situation where you remove it and put it aside. You can loosen it. You can leave it there, whichever. But for me, because I'm working outside, I think I'll just leave it on loosely. Something like that. And then now we're gonna jack up the car. And then once we jack it up, we'll move to the next thing.
few minutes later.
Yeah, so I've got my bucket here, my basin, and I've got my 14s. I've got this for the oil filter. So at the end of the day, you have to get inside here and do your thing. Normally, let me show them. So this is how it looks like underneath here. We have the oil filter here, and we have the oil pan here. If you can see ahead there, that's where we have let me just see if I can get a hold of it. This is the drain plug. So you always have to locate your engine. This is the transmission, this one here. So if you look from overhead, when you look at the top of your engine, you'll be able to know which side the transmission is and which side the, what do we call it, the engine is. So that is what now affects how you decide. So I need to have this, so I have my basin there. I'll use my left hand to try and unlock this. Give me that 14.
Wrench.
Give me the wrench, because the wrench I don't have. No, the other one, the ratchet, because with the ratchet I don't have to. Let me turn it around. So
But you're right-handed, you know.
my goodness, this thing is so tight.
A few moments later.
Let me see if it is good to go. Yeah, now it is loose. So there we go. So you have to be very quick. And then I'll lower it again so that it is flat. If there's any oil. Oops. Ooh wee. Look at that. The color is not bad. Look at that color. It's not black as I told you. So I need to lower it so that I'm able to look at that. That's glorious. Okay. So I'll let it run until it trips, but I'll also lower the car so that we can get rid of as much oil as possible. Yeah, so I've just lowered the car just to make sure that everything is out, because I jacked up the side where the engine is. So that is just my method. It doesn't mean it is the correct method, but it works for me, because where the engine is, that's where the filter and the drain plug are. So because the transmission is on the left, the passenger side, the engine is on the driver's side. So that's exactly what I've done. Jacked it up, removed that plug, then now lowered it. So I need to jack it up again and now remove the filter. So it's still dripping. I think what I'll do, because they are near each other, I'll let it drip, but I'll open up the oil filter, which is here.
A few minutes later.
I've tried to grab that oil filter from underneath the car. It's a bit of a crazy thing, so I've decided, let me see if I can tackle it from the front here. So that's the coolant reservoir. So let me see if I can turn it from here. It's gonna be a tedious process, because even getting this thing fast there.
Eh? Gojo.
Okay. My goodness, this is still not a good position. I guess I just have to struggle with down there. Let me tell you, I went under the car and then I realized that thing had been screwed on tight, the oil filter. So when I realized that, now it was a battle. So the oil filter wrench was too big, apparently. So I think I need to get the strap one because that one can adjust the size. And I just keep these in case of any other thing that comes up. But generally speaking, the oil filter was put on so tight because you're just supposed to hand tight it, but this one was tight. So, and then again the filter wrench was too big for it, just slightly big. And then yeah, and then I had to resort to the old school trick, which is use a screwdriver, you know, punch through it and then turn it around. So finally it is off, but there's quite of a mess there. My hands were completely covered in oil, engine oil. So it's off. The oil filter place is dry. So I think what I'm gonna do now is prepare the oil filter and then just hand tight it. So I've got a denso filter, and then this is how it looks like. So you have to remove this, but before I remove this cover, I need oil to prime it. So let me just put it here, and then I've got my oil here. So what we need to do is prime it. So let me just see if it can hold here. It has to be sealed. 5W30 fully synthetic. Always check the manual of your car to see what it involves, the kind of oil that your car uses, and you will be good to go. Whoops, my goodness, everything is just flying. So then I open this up. So you have to make sure this is there. So what we do is I'll just dip my finger there, and then just do that, so that next time I am opening up this, I won't have a hard time. So the person who did for me the service didn't do a good job, put it so tight that it became a problem. So there are some people who fill it up with oil, but mine is like this on the side. I don't think I need that. So there we go. I've already cleaned up the place, so there's no oil spillage there. So you just do that, and then once it's in snug like this, I'm supposed to turn it maybe a quarter. So let me see if I can get to a quarter. Yeah, I think that's good enough, because it's that caribon that I was priming that actually gives it its tightness. So you don't need to struggle. It's not metal upon metal. You can see how I've been dealing with oil because somebody didn't do the right thing. So let me clean up the oil drain place, and then I think I can call it a day. So just so that I don't lose oil. You know, this oil can pour here, and then it becomes a problem. Put it here. So I was hoping to get 100% drain, but it's still dropping. So I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah, so I'm cleaning the place, just making sure that the oil that is here and there. Hey man, you seem to be having a lot of oil here. Not coming to a complete stop. Yeah. So let me just make sure my drain plug is clean, because the things that I've had to do to make sure the filter comes out has been quite on the higher side. Yeah, so still has good corners, it's not rounded. So this is the copper gasket. I think I'll still reuse it. You see, I'm removing the black things, which are just but engine oil. Yeah, I think it is good enough. So let me just run through the threads because of particles, sand particles. Then that should be it. I think I'm happy with it. So I just have it finger tight. I think now you can try to change the oil. You can see the kind of mess I'm in. I have to get every tool out here. Now it's the oil, eh?
Yeah.
We don't need this. What do we call it?
The sieve.
The sieve. Now how do I get it out?
Just need to pop it out with something.
Oh yeah. I think this is good enough. Yeah. So let's come here. Oh goodness. I think let's have it that way. And then I can put this here. Then I can have this tissue here. That's too tall. I think I need to cut it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a bit.
I'll cut it so that it is short. So this thing is here so that you can turn it around and direct the oil. So just to be safe, is just to avoid a mess. You can still aim. So I need to leave some in because it's about 3 point something liters, 3.8. Imagine with this I'm still creating a mess. So there's some oil still in here. No, this page is also dirty now. So many things to deal with. I hope I can be as clinical as possible. Yeah, so let me just close it a bit and then check this level. Oh, I need a serviette. So I've got a serviette. Let me see the level. So the first thing you do is make sure you, and you can see it's indicated high, low. So you need to be anything in between there. But it won't give me the correct reading because the vehicle ain't started. It's saying high. Let me counter check again. You can see it's saying high,
Yeah.
right here. So that's called engine oil. So what we do, let me just tighten down there. Then we're gonna check for leaks. Is number 14. So this one can only be used on big filters. So if your car has a small filter, you're better off with a strap. So this is 14. Do I need to change direction? Let me counter check when I'm down there. Anyway, so this basin. So change of direction. So snug and then just a little bit. That's it. Yeah, that's okay. So I've tightened it. It snags, then just a little bit to make it tight. And then let's now let me flatten the car, and then we
Start it
start
up.
it up for about 15 seconds, 90 seconds, but not more. Anything in between is good. Yeah.
So it's also a good time to investigate. I investigated the drain plug. I didn't see any metal chippings. You also look at this. Doesn't look milky. If it looks milky, it means the coolant and the engine oil are mixing together. So this one looks good. We checked it out. You can see even when I run it, there's no black around. So I had trouble with oil because of the very tight filter. So let's lower, and you can see I had to do the old trick here because it was really tight. These are hole, these are hole. so that you use a screwdriver to turn it. Sasa we still have tires to work on. Itatoboa kweli. We'll get the other jack.
Yeah.
Seconds is how long?
I'll tell you. Okay.
That's 15 seconds.
Yeah. 15 seconds.
Let's allow it to run a bit more. Let's take a compromise between 15 and 90. Maybe 40.
Yeah.
That should be 30.
Okay.
That's good, eh?
Yeah.
All right. So we also check down there for leakages. You get a clean. So once that is done, then we dip it in. Let me see. So it's in between the middle point. Let me just do that again. So let's now look at it. There it is, somewhere in between low and high. Let me just make sure this place is also clean. So that when I'm dipping the stick, I don't get into trouble. You can do a final check.
Okay.
Doesn't hurt. Yeah, if I'm to add something, maybe just a drop. Then that should be it.
Yeah.
So I need to check for leaks, but before I do that, let me add a drop. I don't want this to fall, so let me put it here. Just a drop. Is that a drop enough?
Yeah.
So I have some left over. And then
some that was blocked there. So let me just clean it. Just making sure everything is clean. So that should be on tight enough. Just cleaning anything that has engine oil on it. So I go down, check if there are any leaks. But now I won't jack it up. But I got oil on myself. We are good. Now the problem is oil all over the place. So that one is done. We decide to go for a test drive. It is not necessary. Jan, can you hear me speak?
Okay.
Clearly.
Yeah.
So let's get this thing back where it belongs.
What about the pipes?
That one will also be back where it belongs. So that one is good. This pipe normally just traverses here. So that's okay. And let's get this back in position. So I destroyed one of these things. I'll have to get another one. Fix it later. But that one should be able to hold it in place. So we are done with that. Next thing is tires. So we need to rotate. Because guys are passing this other side, let's start with this side. And that's the side we were on.
Yeah.
So this oil, we just place it here. Need to figure out what to do with it. Okay, good. So now what I want to do is take this tire back there and get that tire here. And while I was down there, I saw that there's a boot that is torn on this tire. So next weekend, I still need to get time and have this sorted out. So
I want to rotate this tire, goes to the back one comes here, and then we finish with the rear brakes, and then we have the front brakes to deal with, and the weather is not conducive, but I think will be done. Yeah, that's it. That's what we want to do. Yeah, so this is the front tire coming in here, and then this is the rear tire. Something went down, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I told you. These things.
Although it's not on this side.
In case it goes down. Who are maricos? So just for safety, I'm gonna have this tire on, so that if any of that happens,
Gorgeous.
so we just have it snug. Yeah, that's good. Right there. That's good, just for security, so that we can work on this rear tire. So I want to get this out. Oh, man.
You
The
locked
handbrakes on. Let me get that out.
Jeez. Whatever went down went in a powerful way.
So these are drum brakes. Goodness, this looks like a leak, but it's not that much. You know, this is the part that breaks, eh?
Yeah.
This is the handbrake part. So it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have some leaking brake fluid. Hey, niaje? Let's see what's happening here. Look at that.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so we have to have a brake job done.
That's just usually to loosen it, not to feel it.
We have to have a brake job done. Bearing is okay, but this is a problem.
Yeah.
So I need to set aside some time and have a brake job done. So I've got some water here. What we normally do, even this one is dirty, you have to clean it. So this is just normal water, but as long as it dries, there is no problem.
Yeah.
Look at this. Let me also show you how we do this. You can see,
Yeah.
all that is uchafu.
By that he means that.
Nissan Yeah, so this cylinder has an issue.
Yeah.
It's leaking somewhere. It's also a good opportunity to look at this drum, to look at this lining. So the lining still has some life, but I'm worried about these
Cracks.
breakages because it means they are not fitted correctly, the correct type. So wacha hiyo ingie kwa grao na hii ikauke. So we put it like this so that it can dry. Now, just even for more security, I think I need to put this tire down here.
Yeah.
So let that hang there. And yeah, we have these ones here. And then I can just have this one somewhere here, just in case anything goes crazy. We can have a recovery point. Okay, good. So let's go back to the front and see what's happening there. Now that we have that tire there, we can move this one here.
A few moments later.
The other time I came here, I found these bolts rounded, so I didn't do anything about it, but I'm glad I went down there because this boot is torn. So we need to go and deal with that. I need to deal with this shock. I think it's past its days. Yeah. And then the brakes look good. But let me see if I can open the So I think the links still have some life. The bushes, like the other time I checked, they were okay. These other ones are okay. The rotor looks okay. So I think for me it would be the shock that I'll deal with maybe in a few days. And then let's see. I've got this thing for plumbers. Let's see if we can be able to get a hold of this thing and open them. Because the person who did the job so I really hope these things can grip. They can grip these things. There's a little grip. So let's see if we can.
Did it work?
No, you need to tighten it. That's where the challenge is. Because if it doesn't work, then I have to go to the real guys to deal with it. It's not gripping the way I want it to grip. So what we do is very simple. because I can see the linings from here. Let me just have a look at them. The linings seem like they still, from here, they still have some life. So what happens is, when I go to do this job, I combine it with
That one.
this. Although this one is rounded, because this is the one that we normally open,
Yeah.
this one. So, and then we do a replacement for this. This one still looks okay. This should be number, what number was it?
14.
I have 14 there. Is it really 14?
Yeah.
You see the challenge, if you don't have, yeah, this is 14. This one is okay. This one below, the one we need to open.
Hacked it.
But it's gripping,
Oh.
surprisingly. I hope it doesn't spoil my wrench,
Yeah.
because my wrench is turning. You can see what is happening. It's destroying my edges. So very soon I'll not have a socket set. But I had a 14 there.
Yeah.
The normal one. Oh, we took it to the back.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it here. No, no, it is rounded, it's not moving. So that's a big challenge. Let's give it one more try.
Walking.
Grabbed it a bit.
Yeah. And you can grab it more.
It has grabbed it.
Oh.
I think I'll have somebody else deal with it. But as long as I can see brakes are okay, that's what is important.
Yeah.
So I'll have somebody deal with it because my socket is getting destroyed. And my wrench can't grab it. So what I want to do is put this tire back on, and then I call it a day. I think this is the one that went
What about the other side?
Cindy, this is the side that went down.
Yeah.
We'll check the other side also. We have to do the tire rotation. So we need to do that replacement of bolts, and then that boot.